Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to talk about how to create melodies over unrelated chords. Well, first of all, there's no such thing as unrelated chords or even unrelated notes, just like there are no unrelated letters in the alphabet. You can write any word in any language and invent new words, so you can do the same for scales, chords, and of course chord progressions. Let's just say that I want to find out a way to create melodies over two chords which don't belong to the same scale. These chords may sound unrelated, but they're really not. A chord progression may sound weird to me or unusual, but that's subjective and maybe depends on my music culture or on what I'm used to listen to, etc. Let's start with some examples. I'll take two unrelated chords and my goal will be to find a way to connect them. Let's choose, for example, E minor and C sharp minor. E minor is made of E, G, B, and C sharp minor is C sharp, E, and G sharp. So we have both G and G sharp, and we know that in basic music scales you can have the same note just once. So in the natural major scale and its modes, or in the harmonic minor and its modes, or in the melodic minor, harmonic major and their modes, just to quote the most used scales, you only have a single instance of every note, so either you have G or G sharp. There are some cases in which you can use enharmony to give a different name to the notes to have the same pitch. So G sharp could actually be A flat and C sharp could actually be D flat. But let's just stick to the example for now. So E minor and C sharp minor, I basically have two choices here. I can create a melody keeping the two chords distant, let's say as more unrelated as possible. So I can choose two very different scales, one for the E minor and one for the C sharp minor. Or I can try to reduce the distance between the two with my melody. Of course, the two chords will always be at the same distance, a minor third. But I can change the perceived distance between the two. So if I want to keep the distance, I'll choose, for example, to play E Aeolian and C sharp Aeolian. E Aeolian is the key of G, so it only has one sharp, F sharp, and C sharp Aeolian is the key of E, so it has four sharps. So I have two scales which only have in common 4 notes out of 7. I can say that they're pretty different. Let's give it a try. Okay, now I'll try to give the improvisation a different vibe. The thing I can do is find a way to connect these two unrelated chords, keeping in mind that there's no such thing as unrelated chords. One way to connect these two chords is to use common notes. We have 4 notes in common, 4 notes out of 7, because C sharp Aeolian is the key of E major, and E Aeolian is E natural minor, so E. They're both E's. One is major and one is minor, but still E's. So the two scales have the same root note and just 3 notes different. The 3rd, the 6th, and the 7th. So the root note, the 2nd, the 4th, and the 5th are in common. What if I play these 4 notes only? E, F sharp, A, and B. Those 4 notes are good for both chords. Let's hear an example. Okay, so this works too. Another way to shorten the distance between the two chords is to find two scales that have more notes in common. Not 3, but 4, 5, or even 6. Let's see if it's possible. Okay, I'll start with first 2 scales I used before. Let's compare them and see if we can move one scale towards the other. Now, let's work on the first scale to make it more similar to the second scale. Our chord is E minor, so we won't change the notes that are part of the chord. So we're keeping E, G, and B. The other 4 notes, sorry, you have to change. Okay, what if I add a sharp? Let's say a C sharp. What do I get? I get an E Dorian. Still fits the E minor chord, but it's more similar to the second scale. So instead of having just 4 notes in common, now we have 5. So the perceived distance between the 2 chords is now being reduced. What if I add another sharp, let's say a D sharp? What do I get? I get a Dorian scale with a major 7th, so a melodic minor. Still fits the E minor chord, but it's more similar to the second scale. So instead of having 5 notes in common, now we have 6. So basically we still have 2 scales, but those 2 scales have 6 notes out of 7 in common. So they sound very similar, and they can be played over our 2 unrelated chords. Let's hear an example. So I can accentuate the differences by choosing 2 very different scales, or I can minimize the differences, trying to get the 2 scales as near as possible to each other. Okay, but this example was easy, right? I said it's 2 E scales. Okay, one is major, one is minor, but they're still E scales. What if I have, for example, E minor and C minor, E, G, B, and C, E flat, G? Same approach. Let's start with the 2 Aeolians again. This time we only have 3 notes in common, C, D, and G. And again, if I play only these 3 notes, I know that they fit in both chords. Once more, we can try to change one of the 2 scales to make it more similar to the other one. I have an E Aeolian and a C Lydian flat 3. Now let's try one last example. What if I have E minor and F minor? I can start with the 2 Aeolians again. So we take away the F sharp and we have an E Phrygian. We take all the flats in the F Aeolian scale away, except for the A flat, which is in my F minor chord. And so we have left, which is a Lydian with a flat 3rd. So now the only difference between the 2 scales is A and A flat. But can I put the A flat on the E Phrygian scale too? Yes, I can. And I get an E Phrygian flat 4. So in this case, we have a perfect match, 100%. It's a C harmonic major scale. The scale fits in both chords. Let's hear it. That's it. There could be many more examples, but I think I've made my point. Now you can just exercise and find your way of connected, unrelated chords, being aware that there's no such thing as unrelated chords. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some value from it. If you feel like it, you can drop a line in the comments below and like or dislike this video. I hope not. See you next time. Ciao.